hakuna siri yeyote. Siri ni wewe kuwajibika, kulipa wakati unaofaa na kutokuwa na nuksi zozote, kwa sababu ya kuhakikisha yote ambayo wanayahitaji yanaafikiwa. Vile vile tunashukuru sana na tungependa kuwafahamisha kwamba ili uweze kuwa mlipa ushuru katika taifa letu la Kenya, ni sharti uwe na KRA PIN. Kwa hivyo yeyote ambaye ameafikia miaka ya kuwa na KRA PIN, ni vyema kuwajibika na kulipa ushuru kwa sababu ya kuhakikisha ujenzi wa taifa letu. Tunawashukuru nyote kwa kujinyima shughuli zenu siku ya leo na kuhakikisha kwamba mumefika mahali hapa ili tuweze kusherehekea siku hii kwa pamoja. Jisikie mko mahali panafaa. Iwapo uko na swali lolote, kuna wanadada ambao ninaona wamerembeka kweli kweli miongoni mwetu, ama ukipenda unaweza waita ushers, watakuelekeza. Tafadhali, naona wamevalia nguo nyeusi zikiwa zimemixiwa, ama kumixiwa si Kiswahili. Sawa, wamevalia na koti nyekundu ambazo zina mchanganyiko wa madoadoa meusi. Kwa hivyo iwapo ungependa kuelekezwa kwa lolote, tafadhali usisite kuwauliza. Wageni wetu wote, karibuni sana. Now, due to public demand, sababu naona requests ni mingi, zina request wana KRA choir muendelee na utumbuizaji.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be upstanding for His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has arrived at the annual Taxpayers Month, where around 20 diligent and compliant taxpayers, companies and individuals will be awarded.
And as we remain studying, Catherine Meano, a staff member at the Kenya Revenue Authority, will lead us in prayers. Catherine.
Let us pray. Our Father, we continue to thank you. We come to you with hearts of gratitude as we celebrate this Tax Year's Day. We thank you for our nation and our organization where you have placed us. Your word tells us in Proverbs 3:19 that by wisdom you have founded the earth, and by understanding you have established it. We are grateful that by your wisdom you have established the foundation of our nation, and provided every resource that is needed for our country. Thank you for our leaders and the opportunity you have given them to serve us in this season. We remember your word that the King's heart is in your hands and you turn it in the direction that you wish. We ask, Lord, that you would focus our leaders' hearts and accomplish your purposes for this nation. You have also taught us that when righteousness prevails, the people rejoice. Let your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding rest upon our leaders, that they may know how to execute their mandates and responsibilities for the greater good. Help them to make wise decisions that move our country in the right direction. Help them to keep their eyes on you and to take a firm stand on issues that truly matter to you. Thank you for the ongoing efforts to deal with the issues plaguing our nation. As we pray for our leaders, we also pray that each one of us will do our part in staying within what we know is right, according to the truth of your word. We choose to invalidate the wrong and uphold the right in all that we do. We ask, Lord, that righteousness and patriotism would be restored in our nation and at our places of work. You have taught us that righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Let the values of hard work, honesty, and integrity be ingrained in each one of us as we serve in our various positions. We know, God, that you watch all things we do, and we are willing to direct our paths when we ask. Give us the strength and the courage to do that which is required. Teach us to make our actions and the words count and to line them up to your sense of rightness and not ours. Lord, may everyone who names your name arise and allow your light to shine where it is needed. Help us to fulfill our responsibilities with joy and with excellence. And together, may the sum total of our efforts result in a nation that is truly governed by your laws and principles. May all that we do today trigger a lasting effect to our nation. This we pray and believe in Jesus' name.
Your Excellency, sir, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and all the distinguished taxpayers, with your permission, sir, Rithi Buru, the Commissioner General, will guide today's program. Bwana Commissioner General.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, distinguished taxpayers, allow me to welcome all of you to this very occasion when we honor the taxpayers who have been contributing immensely to the development of this country. Your Excellency the President, I also want to thank you for the confidence you have shown by appointing me to lead the KRI team that has been working very hard in collecting the taxes that are required in domestic transformation of this country. Allow me, Your Excellency, now to welcome the Chairman of the KRI Board to come and make some brief remarks.
Your Excellency, the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Cabinet Secretaries present, distinguished taxpayers, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, sir, we are privileged to have you here today as we recognize our esteemed taxpayers. Allow me to join the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury and the Commissioner General in welcoming you to this important event. I would also like to recognize the presence of my fellow KRI board members and the KRI management team. I think I will just ask the board members to stand up to be acknowledged by the members. All of you, please stand up. Thank you very much. I also would like to request the commissioners, that's the top management in the KRI, to stand up for recognition. Please stand up. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, sir, today is a great day in the calendar of the KRI and the country as we express our appreciation to compliant taxpayers' contribution to national development. We need to realize that no country can develop without contribution of the citizens through taxes. That is why KRI has put more effort towards improving voluntary compliance among taxpayers. Your Excellency, allow me to express my gratitude for the support, confidence, and goodwill according to us by your government as we execute our mandate. It is for this reason that I believe that our staff endeavor to meet our targets. We also recognize our mandate as the main agency responsible for revenue mobilization. The task ahead of us is no doubt enormous, but there is no turning point, no turning back in our quest to transform our national economy. It is for this reason that I want to reaffirm our commitment in demonstrating our capacity to supporting Kenya's development agenda through the collection of taxes. In the just concluded financial year 2018-2019, revenue collection hit a new record with 1.580 trillion collected compared to Kenya shillings 1.435 trillion collected in the previous financial year. This reflects an 11.3% growth compared to the previous year's 5.1%, an indication that we can do better and break new records. We pledge and hope to do better in the current financial year. However, like any other tax administration, KRI has challenges that hinder us from executing our mandate efficiently. Tax evasion is among us the challenges we have been facing. The need to engrave the culture of paying taxes among Kenyans cannot be overemphasized. Tax evasion greatly impairs macroeconomic objectives and creates a gap between actual and potential government tax revenue. Tax evasion also makes it difficult for KRI to reach its targeted revenue. However, this does not discourage us in executing our sovereign right of collecting taxes. Your Excellency, KRI has therefore come up with measures to eliminate tax evasion. We have joined hands with other government agencies to deal with this problem, and the outcome has been positive. More importantly, we in the KRI know that tax growth depends on the rate of economic growth and business diversification. Therefore, we are at the forefront to create a conducive business environment both in domestic and international markets. While enforcing revenue collection, disputes arise between taxpayers and the authority. Some of these disputes find their way to the courts and the tax appeals tribunal for adjudication. To ease the backlog of tax disputes pending in courts and the tribunal, the authority has come up with the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, which is absolutely free of charge. In the year 2018-2019, 237 disputes with a revenue of Kenya shillings 8.101 billion were resolved. Alternative dispute resolution has the advantage that it is cost-free, and since it is non-adversarial, the taxpayer and the tax collector maintain a cordial relationship. Furthermore, dispute resolved at an early stage lead to release of revenue and freeing the taxpayer of the burden of defending cases for years before the court or the tribunal, which can be costly. This allows KRIs This shows our KRI's commitment to ensure that Kenya achieves its socio-economic development goals as the government's revenue collection agency. In conclusion, sir, I would like to congratulate the compliant taxpayers who will be honored today. I also want to appreciate everyone for the support according to KRI during this year's tax month. Before I invite the Cabinet Secretary for the Treasury to make his remarks, there is a video show which we have to screen, and that is relating to the need for us to free ourselves for paying taxes, by paying taxes. Thank you very much, please. Thereafter, the Cabinet Secretary will come over and make his remarks. Thank you very much.
You don't need to give us a check. You don't need to queue. You should be paying taxes from the comfort of your house.
Every Kenyan must pay their rightful share. Don't pay us 1 shilling more. Don't pay us 1 shilling less.
You are not only a taxpayer, but you are a Kenyan. And you have a duty to be a patriotic Kenyan. And you have a duty to contribute to the development of this country.
Fellow Kenyans, a shujaa pays their full share of tax promptly and diligently and not under coercion.
Your Excellency, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, fellow Cabinet Secretaries present, various government officials, Chairman and Board of Directors, Kenya Revenue Authority, the Commissioner General, patriotic Kenyan taxpayers present, Your Excellency, it's yet another great privilege for us that you have found time to preside over this celebration of honoring the distinguished patriotic taxpayers of this country. We are indeed humbled by your unfailing presence and support of this momentous event in our calendar, a gesture that we do not take for granted given very many pressing national engagements. Your Excellency, on behalf of the National Treasury, I thank you once again for the support you have continued to accord us, and particularly to KRA, to undertake much needed reforms, from enhanced budget that has led to recruitment of more staff, legal and policy changes, as well as acquisition of modern equipments to enable the authority to meet revenue targets in the current turbulent socioeconomic environment. This support has impacted positively on staff motivation, leading to diligence and efficient service delivery and outputs with better appreciation and sense of patriotism. In this regard, we have also challenged the authority that they must not only sustain the momentum, but also cautioned that the future additional financing will be strictly pegged to revenue performance in conformity with the dictum that to whom much is given, much is also expected. Your Excellency, I wish also to congratulate the new KRA team under the leadership of Ambassador Francis Mudaura and his board, as well as the Commissioner General Musamburu and the entire management for their selfless and sustained dedication to their mandate, which indeed has shown upward trajectory of revenue performance, particularly in the last 3 months. Undoubtedly, an enhanced revenue growth will remain critical to the achievements of our development efforts, particularly the Big Four agenda. I encourage the team not to relent, but also devise additional diverse and innovative measures, or particularly broadening the base of tax pyramid, including netting more taxpayers into the tax bracket. In addition, Your Excellency, interaction of KRA with a host of development partners over the time has not only provided much needed exposure in best global practices, but also enhanced their capacities in making them a respected world-class institution in tax administration, and also particularly being a leader in this region. Your Excellency, as I conclude, allow me to thank our esteemed taxpayers who have stood with us in this journey, even in the extremes of economic circumstances, by obediently discharging their civic and patriotic duty of paying taxes and safeguarding our dignity and sovereignty as a country. It is now my humble duty, Your Excellency, to welcome the Deputy President, who will make his remarks and in turn invite you, Your Excellency, to address the esteemed gathering, and thereafter award our distinguished taxpayers for the exemplary, selfless, and patriotic duty and service to their country. Welcome, Your Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Atani. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, taxpayers, good morning. Your Excellency, when I received an invitation to attend this function, at one point I thought I had excelled in paying taxes, and maybe I had. But all the same, I still went back and checked my tax compliance certificate, and I want to say to the Commissioner General, I have one, and I'm compliant. Your Excellency, an independent country, and being a democracy, we have the power to choose, and we have options to choose the system of government, to choose the leaders we want, to choose the priorities we want. But what underpins that power to choose is the paying of taxes, which we have no options, and we have no power to choose to do or not to do. And I want to say, because of that, the paying of taxes by all of us is not an option. It is not something we choose. It is something we must do if we have to secure our independence and our democracy. I want to congratulate the board, Treasury and the board, for the good job they are doing. I was happy, Your Excellency, earlier when I was engaging the chair, and he told me that the efforts they have made have actually borne fruit. When you compare what happened this year and last year, taxes grew by 11% as opposed to 5%. And it is in direct contradiction with what I read today. One of the politicians said when he was referring to the census report. He said the census report does not reflect our efforts in the bedroom. He was basically trying to say, but I want to say KRA have done a wonderful job. with those many remarks, Your Excellency, let me request you to address this function. Let's be upstanding. Your Excellency, the President, sir.
Thank you very much, William. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. To all our taxpayers, ladies and gentlemen, let me say it's a great pleasure to join you this morning as we celebrate the 16th consecutive year, the exemplary conduct of our country's most distinguished taxpayers. These taxpayers have demonstrated through their actions that it is possible to run a successful and profitable business while upholding the principles and values that promote patriotism and a sense of national pride. Our Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, has guaranteed all the noble goals and aspirations held dear by the people of this republic. However, it is important to underscore that these goals and aspirations can be realized only if the state has sufficient financial resources to execute the required development programs and projects that it has laid out. Indeed, taxes are the fuel for the development engine. And as an independent and sovereign state, and in order to ensure that we remain respected as such, we must strive to finance our development agenda from as much as possible our own domestically generated resources. Therefore, as we all know, the rallying call adopted by our own Kenya Revenue Authority, Tulipe Ushuru Tujitegemee, is very apt for a free and democratic state such as Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, let me underscore a fact that sometimes we intend to overlook. Our ability as a nation to collect and administer taxes has been one of the most visible hallmarks of our status as an independent and sovereign nation. It has enabled us to chart our own course, determine and execute our own priorities, and to be proud and a free country that is admired and respected on the international stage. This occasion, therefore, fellow Kenyans, is not just fitting as we celebrate large taxpayers, but indeed as we celebrate each and every single Kenyan who is faithful to the constitutional call for playing their part in nation building by paying their proper share of taxes and paying these on time. On this occasion also, we recognize the professional tax agents and advisors who guide taxpayers into full compliance with the law. And of course, we also salute those of our tax officers who administer our tax system with integrity and professionalism. And I want to guarantee you that these are the majority, because the minority, chuma yao iko motoni. Ladies and gentlemen, I note with great satisfaction that Kenya's tax collections, as has been stated by the chairman, has more than doubled since 2013, from 707 billion Kenya shillings to 1.58 trillion as of the financial year 2018-19. This is an impressive performance in tax collections, and it has not been by accident. It is a result of deliberate set of actions executed by the Kenya Revenue Authority, and for that, Mr. Chairman, I congratulate you, your board, and indeed the new management for the improvement and the significant improvement in voluntary tax compliance and accurate self-assessments by millions of ordinary Kenyans. And indeed, as we have noted, The administrative costs as a result for collecting these taxes has also reduced. Some of the actions taken include the use of advanced scanning technology at our ports of entry, to the operation of the new one-stop border post and the upgrades made to the ITAX system to roll out the new integrated customs management system, placing emphasis on automation of tax processes and procedures. My administration is well aware that for us to maintain the desired growth in revenue collection, we must continue to take additional measures to improve the operating environment for taxpayers. And we have in this regard taken bold steps since 2013 to make it easier to do business in this country. We have strived to ensure that our macroeconomic environment remains stable, and we have been investing in critical economic infrastructure such as roads, rail, port improvement, energy generation, and we have continued to put in place supporting legislation and institutional frameworks to ease the regulatory regime and indeed to remove unnecessary bureaucracies. As a result of these measures, as the recently released report on the World Bank Ease of Doing Business have shown, Kenya has been placed at position number 56 compared to position number 136 in 2014. There is, however, still much work that needs to be done on this front. But I want to assure each and every one of you that my administration shall continue to implement business-friendly policies that will make it easier for businesses, both domestic and international, to thrive. We commit to do this because we know that as you thrive, you create jobs for Kenyans. It means more tax collections, and no doubt, more social economic development programs and projects to improve the well-being of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, even as tax collections have increased year on year at impressive rates, we all know and are well aware that only a small segment of Kenya's tax potential has been tapped. There is still room for improvement through expansion of the pool of players, closing of leakages, aggressive identification and elimination of tax evasion schemes, and easing self-assessment and voluntary compliance procedures. My administration has continued to facilitate increased investment in the acquisition of skilled tax personnel, training, technology, and this, I believe, will make the Kenya Revenue Authority one of the leading tax administrators on the African continent. The digitization program that my administration has also embarked on will also ensure that the net closes on a much wider base of Kenyans so that each and every one of us can pay their rightful share. To scale further the growth in our tax revenue, which is not a matter of choice, other critical institutions in the tax administration chain must also up their game and endeavor. They must discharge their mandates in a manner that supports rather than limits the efficacy of tax administration. Indeed, I've been made aware that over 1,000 legal cases with disputed tax of over Kenya shillings 300 billion are awaiting hearing and determination at the Tax Appeals Tribunal and other superior courts. The majority of these cases have been pending for more than 2 years, representing a significant bottleneck in the tax administration process. I call on the judiciary, if they so desire, to strive to determine expeditiously tax disputes without fear or favor. Both the taxpayer and the tax authority deserve quick and efficient hearings so as to know the outcome of their cases within the shortest time possible. And to that end, we now have a new tax appeals tribunal, And I want a report from you within 3 months of what you have done to expedite those cases, failure to which, as I have always reminded each and every civil servant, hamna shida, Wakenya ni wengi ambao wanagojea hizo makazi. 3 months, my friends, and we want it done. I also urge the Kenya Revenue Authority to do more to sensitize our taxpayers on the availability of alternative dispute resolution avenues, and to do more to facilitate timely resolution of disputes outside the lengthy and sometimes very expensive routes of the court corridors. Where the taxpayer has not knowingly, and I repeat, has not knowingly engaged in tax evasion or other criminal conduct, and where the taxpayer has a demonstrable prior record of good tax compliance, and where there exists either sufficient mitigation or an arguable ambiguity, it may be better, Mr. Chairman, for the Kenya Revenue Authority to meet the taxpayer part of the way and deliver immediate tax collections rather than awaiting the outcome of a lengthy adversarial process that may be subject to further lengthy appeals. Hakuna haja ya kutesa mtu ambaye amefanya makosa. Kama amefanya makosa kidogo na hakuwa amefanya kwa sababu alikuwa na nia ya kuiba, jameni, ketini, muongee, musuluhishe na tuendelee mbele. Really. We must not make every business a criminal. No, they are not. They are not criminals. We know the criminals. Yeah? Yeah. They are not the criminals. So where we can sit and discuss, let us sit and discuss and find solutions and move forward and allow the businesses to continue with their activities as we move in all other cases, and in particular where there has been tax evasion or other criminal conduct. Bwana Kinoti na my friend Bwana Haji, fanyeni kazi yenu na nyinyi, because the law must follow its natural course. And this we must do. In recent months, the Kenya Revenue Authority has increased prosecutions against tax evaders. Going forward, the professional advisors and facilitators of tax evasion who enable tax evasion will also come into focus and face prosecution. Tax evasion will and must be fought on all fronts. My call, therefore, is on all taxpayers to voluntarily come forward and regularize their tax positions rather than awaiting the coming storm. We are particularly keen on hearing from whistleblowers who are able to give the necessary authorities accurate and compelling information that yields additional tax collections. And to that end, I direct the National Treasury to re-examine the reward system contained in the Kenya Revenue Authority Act with a view to significantly enhance it and therefore empower the KRA to boost further the receipt of actionable intelligence on tax evaders. For far too long, tax evasion, unfortunately, has been glorified in Kenya. Far too many Kenyans feel justified to cheat their fellow Kenyan in paying less than they should into the public coffers. Yet despite this behavior, the very same still expect world-class roads, quality healthcare and education and other public services, not appreciating the fact that these public goods and services are paid for out of tax revenues. This situation, my brothers and sisters, is untenable and will not be allowed to continue. So in this regard, I hereby also direct the National Treasury, the Kenya Revenue Authority, the Office of the Attorney General, and all other agencies to review and make recommendations that will strengthen the tax enforcement legal framework. the KRA must be given greater powers and authority to A, address tax evasion, to expedite the dispute resolution process, 3, to provide for mandatory payment of part of the tax in dispute where there is an appeal by a taxpayer against the decision of the tribunal. In addition, the authority must be empowered to impose greater accountability in terms of fines and liability for taxes with respect to professional advisors and agents who provide assistance for or enable the deliberate non-payment of taxes. And a draft bill to that end will be placed before Cabinet within 120 days from today. Further, I do direct that the Kenya Revenue Authority, in consultation with the Ministry of Interior and coordination of national government, bring into immediate operation those provisions of the current law that empower duly authorized officers of the Kenya Revenue Authority, while performing their statutory duties, to exercise the powers, privileges, and rights and protection of police officers. Distinguished taxpayers, ladies and gentlemen, we are today thanking the exemplary taxpayers, and we are feting them. Through their studious payments into the public coffers that has allowed this nation to achieve much and to put in place the foundation of even greater prosperity in years to come. All of you have played a vital role in the realization of the government's development agenda, and I urge all taxpayers in our country to emulate you in this regard and to seek to join you here next year. As I close my remarks, I wish to say that as a government, we don't pride ourselves as the only ones who have good ideas. We're not. There are others who also have good ideas. When it comes to both tax administration and other issues, we also need to hear from all stakeholders on what they consider we should do to improve the efficiency of tax collection in our country, Kenya. To ease compliance and also to address areas of revenue leakages that limit the growth of our tax base and collections. I am aware indeed that the Kenyan Revenue Authority and the National Treasury are in the final stages of developing an upgraded platform for engagement with taxpayers and stakeholders, so as to ensure that we receive comments and ideas that enable us to improve our tax policy and administrative systems. But even as that is being done, I also urge all taxpayers and stakeholders to utilize the existing avenues of engagement with the KRA and the National Treasury, as well as other bodies such as Parliament who are here represented, so that we may achieve our shared goal of a tax administration system that is fair, that is efficient, and that is capable of yielding the highest possible collections at the least cost. Finally, let me take this opportunity to thank the Kenya Revenue Authority, the National Treasury, for making Kenya a continental leader in tax administration, and indeed to all our distinguished taxpayers present today, and also the many millions of Kenyans who pay their taxes across our country. It is the tax that you pay that will enable all of us, as a nation, realize our Vision 2030 dream of a prosperous and equitable Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to conclude by adding 3 points, if I may. One, we're not adversaries. We are one in the same thing. We want to ensure that you who do business in Kenya, from the micro business person at kiosk level, to the farmer, to the large industries, you are the engine that allows us as a country to achieve our social economic development. It is our responsibility to facilitate you. It is our responsibility to ensure that we provide you with the roads, the electricity at affordable rates, and all other services that you need to ensure that your businesses thrive. Because as they thrive, we create jobs. As we create jobs, we increase prosperity. As we increase prosperity, we eliminate poverty, and we have a country that each and every one of us, regardless of their station in life, can be proud of. And it is true, and this is the most unfortunate part, that a few of us, a very small few, who either use positions of authority or access to positions of authority to abuse the system. And this is a most unfortunate thing. And we abuse the system and thereby build a principle where wrong things are encouraged. Ladies and gentlemen, the government belongs to you. You do not belong to the government. And I want to make this very clear. Please, we are now focusing ourselves on creating a system that is going to be accountable to you. I can proudly say that slowly but very surely, we are putting in place men and women who have no fear of authority and who only understand that they must do the right thing and do it with integrity. Do not allow a KRA officer to come and sit behind your table and tell you, don't do this, I'll show you how we'll fix it. Nakwambia ni jameni, those days are over. Don't put yourself in a mess. Don't put yourself in a mess unnecessarily. It is better you go down here, not too far away from here, yeah? And report. And I promise you, you will find eager and ready ears who will tell you, ati nani, na alifanya nani, njoo. And you will see those people being punished. You will see those people being punished. I won't say you'll see them being prosecuted, that belongs to somebody else, but you will see them being punished. And they will not be in those positions. Do not be fearful anymore of government. Do not be fearful of being intimidated by anybody. Don't agree to pay, as the Director General himself has said, a shilling more than you should. But in the same breath, don't pay a shilling less than you should. Yeah? And I'm certain that that way we shall be able to move together. I can see here we might be fitting some government bodies, but equally, we will punish government parastatals. Can you imagine somebody who has worked for a whole month, amelipa mshahara, kwa paycheck yake imekuwa deducted, PAYE, and all other statutory deductions. Alafu kuna MD wa parastatal ama university na amekata pesa ya mwananchi wa kawaida ambaye anafagia ofisi yake. And then they don't remit that money. So that person has stolen from two people. First and foremost, you've stolen from the government. Secondly, you have stolen from a poor, innocent individual who has already been deducted their fees. My friends, let those ones be the first kuingia pale munawapeleka. Hawa wacha wakue kwanza. Na ndio watu wajue, yeah, if we can do it for our own government ministries, if we can do it for our own government parastatals and all government bodies, then we are being fair. Then we are being fair. Yeah? You see? Ukienda kwa PSC uone Parliamentary Service Commission imekata watu pewa hii na haijalipa, Angwenyi yuko hapo, deal with him. Yeah? Ukikuja State House uone tumekata lakini hatujalipa, deal with them. What is the problem? It is your job. Yeah? And that way we set in place a process that shows that nobody, no one is above the law. Finally, I just wanted to comment on just one other thing, and that is, you know, we must be friendly, as I have asked our friends here. We can't criminalize everything. Ati mtu wa KRA akionekana, kazi imefungwa, watu wamebabaika, wengine wametoroka kwa madirisha kwa sababu hawajui ni nini. That should not be the relationship between the taxman and his client. It should be actually friendly. Yeah? Somebody could have made a legitimate mistake. Sit down, discuss, agree, yeah, and find a solution. Don't weaponize KRA as a tool to say, wewe utaniona. Sasa unanikuona kwa nini na mimi nafanya biashara yangu? Yeah? Let us not criminalize business. Yeah? And where people have legitimate issues, be understanding, be the one to be understanding. Na uambie, okay, nimeona hapo, ulikuwa una calculate namna hii, kwa sababu ya hii, kweli hiyo ni makosa genuine, usirudie tena, lakini sasa tuketi, utanilipa hii. Okay? And next time round, that person won't repeat that mistake. Yeah? Kwa sababu sasa akirudia, si utamwambia, wewe si nilikuambia last year, sasa jamani nini ilifanyika? Yeah? You see what I mean? Yeah? We are also trying to be overly efficient, like I've been seeing and I've been noting when we're now looking at customs, collections, and all of this. We know that there was a lot of evasion. We know that there was a lot of avoidance that was taking place at our port. But maybe, from what I've been hearing, some of the measures that we have taken also have been punitive. They are denying and delaying ordinary good business people from going about their issues. So, kama ni hii mambo ya pre-shipment, if it's not working, Bwana Chairman, DG, jameni, ketini na wao, kama pre-shipment imelete shida, haja yako ni kucollect ushuru. Find another way, but make it easy for them to do business. Yeah? Make it easy. Yeah? For them, to get it to Musijali. Because the more we facilitate people to do business, the more we allow people to engage in proper business practices, the more we allow them to engage us, I promise you, the more taxes we shall collect from these good people. Yeah? So let's make it a partnership, a true partnership. And as we do so, let us also work together with them to weed out those people who live in briefcases telling people, kuja kwangu, mimi nitakuonesha njia ya kusuluhisha hii. Those are the ones we need to sort out. Na hii wasee wanajua vile tumekubaliana. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, kwa wenu wote ambao ni wa Kenya, ambao wanalipa ushuru kila siku na wanatetea na wanalilia nchi yao kila siku, nasema Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde, tuendelee kufanya kazi pamoja. Asanteni.
If it pleases Your Excellency, we request you to kindly award the distinguished taxpayers.
Your Excellency, sir, the following taxpayers exhibited exemplary performance in their respective tax obligations and directly contributed to the economic development of this nation. Their performance substantially contributed in generating revenue for the Republic of Kenya. In the first category, we shall recognize the highest corporation tax. Your Excellency, the following taxpayers have made significant contribution in absolute terms, registered impressive revenue growth, embraced reform initiatives, and thus registering the highest corporation tax yield and growth in the financial year 2018-2019. And these are categorized by growth and by yield. And by growth, we recognize the US government state pension scheme in the small taxpayer category. A round of applause, please. It shall be followed by Lolomaric Limited in the medium taxpayer category. It shall be followed by Commercial Bank of Africa in the large taxpayers category. And by yield, Your Excellency, we recognize the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation Limited in the small taxpayer category. Your Excellency, sir, in the top individual taxpayer award, the following taxpayer made the highest individual business taxes for the year 2018-2019, and that is Thomas Stephen Bowman. In the next category, the top regional taxpayer award, these taxpayers, Your Excellency, from different sectors of the economy are recognized as overall winners in their respective KRA regions countrywide. They have demonstrated that Kenya has business potential across the entire country. Domestic revenue, Friends Church Sabatia, Eye Hospital in the Western region. Followed by Rupa Real Estate Limited from the North Reef region. It shall be followed by De Ruyter East African Limited from the South Reef region. To be followed by Daima Sacco from the Northern region. To be followed by Unison Sacco from the Central region. Unfortunately, due to an emergency, Kurawa Industries were unable to join us today. Customs revenue. UDV Kenya Limited are the top taxpayer in the land border. Auto Industries are the top taxpayer by the dry port. In the most facilitative private sector award, the following companies from the private sector have been very supportive, especially by ensuring that Customs core mandate of trade facilitation is achieved in a timely manner. 1, Freight in Time Limited. That is, Freight in Time Limited is our top AEO clearing agent, to be followed by Dulce Hillblom Lean Express, who are our most facilitative air cargo shed. Your Excellency, sir, the most facilitative public sector award shall go to the government agencies who have directly made significant process in facilitating tax mobilization through the fight against tax evasion and illicit trade. They have also been instrumental in supporting revenue collection from personnel under their employment. And these are the Director of Public Prosecution. The Director of Public Prosecution is awarded today as the most facilitative government agency. the most facilitative government agency. In the next category, Your Excellency, the most facilitative government agency award also goes to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. Your Excellency, the most supportive public sector institution is the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense is our most supportive public sector institution. Congratulations. Your Excellency, sir, the most supportive public sector institution is the Teachers Service Commission. Finally, Your Excellency, we go to the most prestigious award. And this award is bestowed upon following the 4 categories because of their outstanding performance based on the following criteria. 1, absolute amounts of taxes paid relative to taxpayers of similar turnover. 2, outstanding global growth in revenue and commensurate taxes paid. 3, voluntary compliance with all revenue laws. Cooperation with revenue officers. Timeliness in remitting taxes due. And in all of these noble efforts, the taxpayers have consistently supported the government's effort to ensuring financial independence, sovereignty, and national pride. Number 1, Vivo Energy Kenya Limited. Vivo Energy Kenya Limited is our top AEO importer by taxes paid. Number 2, Paramount Chief Estate Limited. Paramount Chief Estate Limited is in our small taxpayers category, and we recognize them today for their outstanding efforts. In the medium taxpayers category, we recognize Premier Kenya Limited. Finally, Your Excellency, in all their noble efforts, Safaricom Limited emerges our large taxpayer in our large taxpayers category.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now the chairperson of the board would wish to present Your Excellency with a gift to commemorate this great moment today. There we have it, the chairman and the commissioner general presenting His Excellency the President. Thank you, Your Excellency. Na sasa niombe sote tusimame kwa wimbo wa taifa, na baada ya hapo we will allow His Excellency the President to leave at his pleasure. Thank you.